Breaking news today 24 get latest news.
Halloween 2017, the reasons we celebrate today and why children trick-or-treat. Every year we wear scary outfits, bob for apples and carve pumpkins on Halloween, but why? What is Halloween? Well, Halloween or Halloween, a contraction of All Hallows Evening, also known as Allhalloween, All Hallows Eve, or All Saints' Eve, is a spooky celebration observed every year in a number of countries on October 31st, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day, also known as All Saints' Day. In 2017, Halloween falls on a Tuesday. The Americanized Halloween that we experience today actually originated in the Celtic fringes of Britain, and was adapted over the decades by Christian traditions, immigrants' conventions and an insatiable desire for sweets. What is the history behind Halloween? The origin of the festival is disputed, and there are both pagan and Christian practices that have evolved into what Halloween is like today. Some believe it originates from the Celtic pagan festival of Samhain, meaning summer's end, which celebrated the end of harvest season. Gaels believe that it was a time when the walls between our world and the next became thin and porous, allowing spirits to pass through, come back to life on the day and damage their crops. Places were set at the dinner table to appease and welcome the spirits. Gaels would also offer food and drink, and light bonfires to ward off the evil spirits. The origins of trick-or-treating and dressing up were in the 16th century in Ireland, Scotland and Wales, where people went door to door in costume asking for food in exchange for a poem or song. Many dressed up as souls of the dead and were understood to be protecting themselves from the spirits by impersonating them. More about that below. The Christian origin of the holiday is that it falls on the days before the Feast of All Hallows, which was set in the 8th century to attempt to stamp out pagan celebrations. Christians would honor saints and pray for souls who have not yet reached heaven. What has Halloween got to do with dressing up? Celts dressed up in white with blackened faces during the festival of Samhain to trick the evil spirits that they believed would be roaming the earth before All Saints' Day on November 1st. By the 11th century, this had been adapted by the church into a tradition called souling, which is seen as being the origin of trick-or-treating. Children go door to door, asking for soul cakes in exchange for praying for the souls of friends and relatives. They went dressed up as angels, demons or saints. The soul cakes were sweet, with a cross marked on top, and when eaten they represented a soul being freed from purgatory. Nicholas Rogers, a historian at York University, says that when people prayed for the dead at Hallowmass, they dressed up. When praying for fertile marriages, the boy choristers in the churches dressed up as virgins. So there was a certain degree of cross-dressing in the actual ceremony of All Hallows Eve. In the 19th century, souling gave way to guising or mumming, when children would offer songs, poetry and jokes, instead of prayer, in exchange for fruit or money. Halloween trick-or-treating. The phrase trick-or-treat was first used in America in 1927, with the traditions brought over to America by immigrants. Guising gave way to threatening pranks in exchange for sweets. After a brief lull during the sugar rations in World War II, Halloween became a widespread holiday that revolved around children, with newly built suburbs providing a safe place for children to roam free. Costumes became more adventurous. In Victorian ages, they were influenced by Gothic themes in literature, and dressed as bats and ghosts or what seemed exotic, such as an Egyptian pharaoh. Later, costumes became influenced by pop culture, and became more sexualized in the 1970s. Many of us have fallen victim to a scary Halloween prank, or even played the nasty trickster ourselves. From jumping out of bushes dressed as zombies or spooking people in their sleep as ghosts, the terrifying list of possibilities is endless. Why do we carve pumpkins? The carving of pumpkins originates from the Samhain festival, when Gaels would carve turnips to ward off spirits and stop fairies from settling in houses. A theory that explains the Americanized name Jack-o'-lantern came from the folkloric story of Stingy Jack, who fooled the devil into buying him a drink. He was not let into heaven or hell, and when he died, the devil threw him a burning ember which he kept in a turnip. The influx of Irish immigrants in the 1840s to North America could not find any turnips to carve, as was tradition, so they used the more readily available pumpkin into which they carved scary faces. By the 1920s, pumpkin carving was widespread across America, and Halloween was a big holiday with dressing up and trick-or-treating. 6 Peculiar Halloween Traditions. In Czech culture, chairs for deceased family members are placed by the fire on Halloween night alongside chairs for each living one. In Austria, some people leave bread, water and a lighted lamp on the table before going to bed. It is believed that this will welcome dead souls back to Earth. Meanwhile, in Germany, people hide their knives to make sure none of the returning spirits are harmed, or seek to harm them. Barnbrack, a fruitcake, is used as part of a fortune-telling game in Ireland. Muslin-wrapped treats are baked inside. If a ring is found, it means that the person will soon be wed. A piece of straw means a prosperous year is on its way. A pea means the person will not marry that year. A stick means an unhappy marriage or dispute. A coin represents good fortune. The city of Kawasaki in Japan holds an annual Halloween costume parade. More than 100,000 watch it and 2,500 people take part. In Manila, capital of the Philippines, pets get in on the action too. An annual costume contest aims to raise funds for animal welfare groups. How is Google celebrating it? Google is celebrating Halloween with a video of Jinx, the lonely ghost, who embarks on a mission to find the perfect costume and a place to belong. Last year, Momo successfully defended Magic Cat Academy from the clutches of a mischievous ghost invasion, Google said. This year, Jinx desperately wants to join Momo and the other trick-or-treaters outside. Not wanting to scare anyone, the lonely ghost agonizes over a costume to blend in with the trick-or-treaters, wreaking havoc in the process. In the end, Jinx finds wearing a disguise is no match for being yourself.